Mr. Singh, of course, a lot of excitement, not just in Kochi, but in the entire country. It is a historic moment. It is a historic occasion. This is, of course, going to mark a significant step as far as India's defense capabilities are concerned. But what does this mean, particularly for India's maritime heritage, Mr. Singh?
Yes, I must distinguish an aircraft carrier from the other types of ships, and what makes it very majestic and splendorous. It is the most potent marine assets, first of all, for any nation, which enhances a navy capability to travel far from its home shores to carry out air dominant operations. This is something which is very important to mention here. Not only that, aircraft carriers always generally lead the capital ship of a carrier battle groups. So when the battle groups, the group of ships moves towards a particular target or to a country, it moves with the capital ship, and which is further escorted by many destroyers, frigates, submarines, missile cruisers, submarines, supply ships. As we see almost every day in South China Sea, the battle groups of American Navy leading the battle groups. So this is something which makes its presence out at sea a power of projection for any country. And our INS Vikrant or IAC, one as it is now at this moment, with 44,500 tons and with the capacity to carry 34 aircrafts, fighter jets and helicopters, capable of operating all of these fighter jets, 20 MiG-29Ks, Kamau's, air early warning helicopters, then MH-60 multi-role, helicopters, Seahawks that we are getting from Lockheed Martin in America, and then the advanced light helicopters which are built in our own country by the HAL. And I think the LST is also being considered for it. And now, apart from this, if you look at the other, parameters of this aircraft carriers, with the 52 kilometers per hour speed is considered to be very, very high speed. It is not a, speed which is generally earlier, like when I was in Vikrant previously, it used to do a speed of only 18 knots, which comes to around 40 kilometers per hour. And the endurance and the range of 7,500 kilometers distinguishes this aircraft carrier from the rest of the ships that we have in this region, especially the Indian Ocean and the Arabian Sea. And I would say with Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant now, the major requirement of our Navy that was to have 2 aircraft carriers minimum to defend our east coast, that is eastern seaboard, as well as the west coast, western seaboard, because they are the ones which are highly vulnerable because of the presence of Chinese in Gwadar port and another irritant like Pakistan. And China is making, other naval bases at Djibouti and Sri Lanka, Hamantota, Bangladesh. With all these challenges which were arising in our region, I think now the Indian Navy is very capable to deal with all of them.
Very rightly said.
I must also say that it's also sends a very strong message of power projection to the neighboring nations which are hostile to us, that India is not the same what it was. It's a new India now, and it is self-reliant, it is Atmanirbhar. We are not dependent on other nations now. our technocrats, our R&D, and our capacity to build, manufacture ships in our own country is something which also highlights the importance of the naval might in and around our country. So that is something which I think needs to be highlighted because as I was telling earlier, that there are very few nations which are actually manufacturing the aircraft carriers.
Absolutely.
And today is a historic day that marks our entry into that prestigious club. So it is something which the world is watching.
It indeed is a very strong message being sent out to the international community, as very, very well defined by you, Mr. Singh.